Hey everyone, welcome to a Friday live stream. How are you? It is good to see you. It is good to be seen by you. Welcome to the show. And if you're new here, I, of course, am your friendly neighborhood, the Dungeon Delver. And this is just a little something we do. We do this 5 nights a week, unless I'm away off in exotic lands doing exciting things with amazing people, and I'll still keep you updated. Don't worry, I'll still clue you in. It's all good. So tonight we've got some fun stuff happening here. In just a few minutes, we're going to bring on actually one of tonight's role players, because I know you folks are tuning in to watch and listen to some Gamma World Let's Play, and we're going to be doing that. But I happened to meet in person for the first time one of our Friday night players who was at GaryCon. Now, she was at GaryCon, but she was also kind of doing her own thing, and I think that's kind of the highlight, the update that we're going to talk to her about as soon as she hops in. But before we get to that, of course, as always, this episode is brought to you by our friends at Hellebarde Games. Now, Hellebarde publishes the modules they like to play, with offerings for OSR, Castles and Crusades, and 5th edition. No matter what rules are in use, old school gaming is at the table. You can grab Hellebarde modules on DriveThru RPG or at the Hellebarde Games website at hellebardegames.com. And right now, our friends at Hellebarde Games have a sale to close out their 5e in-print stock, offering 50% off of everything they have in print that is targeted at 5th edition. From a swamp filled with lizard men to a caravan route filled with adventure, come find what suits your campaign. The coupon code is 5EOOP at checkout to get 50% off. It's our friends over at Hellebarde Games. They are awesome, and we like them quite a bit. Good evening, Kabuki, Tommy Dye, the Basement Dweller, Jimmy Invictus, Vile Necromancer. How are you, young man? Luther Pendragon, Uncle Brat, greetings. Damien, it's good to see you all, and I'm glad you're here. So yeah, we've still got a lot to talk about in the way of GaryCon happenings. One does not simply ramble for a little bit about that. We will actually tomorrow, Mrs. the Dungeon Delver and I will be doing a special afternoon live stream, and she'll come on and we'll get her perspective on GaryCon. And that's why I didn't launch into all the stories, because she was there. She was part of a lot of the fun happenings that went on at GaryCon. But we'll talk to her tomorrow too. Stay warm, Uncle Brat, whether you're here for the whole shebang tonight or you have to dip out. Stay warm regardless. So yeah, that's happening tomorrow. And like I said, here in just a little bit, we're going to talk to Sapphire. You guys know where's 4077 on the Friday night Gamma World live stream. I had you isolated in a chat all by yourself. You felt like Morgoth floating in the void. Did I had you isolated in a chat all by yourself. That's very cryptic. Very cryptic. But yeah, so that's all happening, and we have a lot of interesting stuff happening. The rest for the next good stretch of time, guys, the watchword is guests on the show. I talked to a lot of people who are excited about coming on the show and being guests here, and I'm very, very, very excited. I don't want to spoil anything. Don't want to spoil any surprise. But I think you guys will like some of the folks we're going to have chatting with us. And let's see, we've got in just a couple of months, guys, now, Guac 2, the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention 2 is going to happen. I will get something set up with sign-up sheets and all that stuff very soon. Very soon. Robert Phillips, who is Uncle Brad? Uncle Brad is he's a member of the chat. He's a watcher of the show, a guy who enjoys my ramblings and talkings and proclamations and whatnot as much as the rest of you guys do. And we're always glad to see folks here coming in the chat. Speaking of folks here, let me see here. Pull this up. Guys, we're at 4,346 subscribers on this channel, and that is amazing. Thank you all so much. I know we had a lot of people join up on the channel just last night watching that great live stream with Matt Finch. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, we jumped right up and subscribed because this is a little, folks were kind of laying low for a few weeks there. I was starting to wonder if I was going to have to switch over to one of those restoration channels, restore this bike. I found this rusted bike in the woods and watch me restore it. And those things are all fake. Those things are all fake. Matt Finch brought his army. Matt Finch did bring an army. And that was a lot of fun. But no, I'm not going to switch gears, guys. It's awesome. I appreciate everything you guys do for me as far as subscriptions and putting the good word out there, spreading the word about the Delver's Dungeon. And if you're new here, if you're just coming by and you haven't already, please consider clicking that subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, and give us a like and leave a comment down below this video or off over in the chat. And speaking of the chat, I think it's high time we had a chat with our guest for the evening. So, without further ado, if there's a do, is there a don't? Anyway, but without it, regardless, let's welcome Sapphire. Again, you guys know her as 4077 from the Friday Night Gamma World, and we're going to talk to her about her GaryCon experience and her off GaryCon experience. So everybody put your hands together, unless you're watching this on mobile phone and holding it in your hand, then you smash your glass, for the one, the only Sapphire Steel, aka 4077. Hello, Wisconsin.
Hello.
How are you, young lady?
We're doing well here. Got rid of the snow. We have thunderstorms, but there's a chance of more of that ugly S stuff tomorrow. So we'll see.
Yes.
It's spring.
I could tell a lot of funny stories about that, but I'll sum it up by saying that as I posted on Twitter with a picture of it, as a Floridian, I can only assume that out there that is sand or possibly a massive cocaine spill. But I was assured by natives that it happens all the time up there, so I want no part of that. But what I do want part of is some of the great gaming that happens up in that neck of the woods roundabout last weekend. So let's just dive into the deep end of the pool. What tell us about your alt gaming experience. What is it that you guys do around the time of GaryCon? Tell us about your group, about your mini con, your gaming get together.
Okay. Well, my original high school group in that, we've kind of been out of touch, and we got back into touch a little bit before the whole COVID thing started. And so throughout COVID, we were remote gaming in that, and we were loving it. Mm-hmm. And real life after, COVID started to disembark in that and people went back to their real lives. We kind of dropped off of gaming. So about 8 months before GaryCon, our dungeon master's like, well, let's do something for GaryCon, but let's do it off-site so we could, have a good time. So some of the group is like, yeah, I'm in. So we rented an Airbnb just over the border in Illinois, like maybe 20 minutes from Lake Geneva, on a lake, and 5 bedrooms, so it would accommodate everybody. We had 8 people come, of which 6 were players and our dungeon master, and then one of the kids of the adults in that. So, but he stayed downstairs and played his Game Boy Nintendo or whatever it was. So,
Right.
I mean, we had a great time. We started on Thursday, and then we were out on Monday. So we did the full, extended weekend type of thing. We had some people come in on that Thursday night, but not the entire group. So we played Cards Against Humanity with the group and relived college, high school kind of days. And then when the rest of the group came in on Friday, we started hardcore gaming. So our DM had created a campaign that was very intense, and we'll kind of go over the different steps in that, and asked if I was okay with being like the main focus in that. I'm like, that's fine. We'll have a good time. And so the whole theme of it is high elf royalty. The queen had died, and the elven council was looking for any of the bloodline that was left throughout the world to see if there would be a good replacement for her. And so my character, unbeknownst to her, was one of these basically in the bloodline. So they had found 3 other ones and had them on the mystical elven island of Evermeet. So it was the whole thing. So the group kind of had come together and gotten involved in this basically invitational theater type of production. And my character was a performer, and she was doing a Blade song dance in the theater type of thing. So she was like a VIP, and that's how she met the group. And it wasn't until after the group had kind of gotten established that the news was broken to her that she was, a potential heir to the elven throne on this island. And of course, the evil, demons and gnolls and all this kind of thing are like overrunning the city that they're in. So everything's getting attacked, and they didn't expect anything. So they don't have any weapons or armor or anything. So they escaped. Well, I was included with them, but we all escaped down into the sewers. So we're going through the sewers, and of course, black pudding comes out of the wall. So we're dealing with the black pudding, and fortunately, with a little bit of magic and a little bit of creativity, we were able to get through and escape out of the sewers. And so we're making our way to the docks to get onto the ship to go to the island of the elves, which is Evermeet.
Okay.
And we managed to pick up basically our armor and such, because our guide led us to a stronghold tavern that he had established that we were going to meet at, and we just managed to get there through the sewer system. So we were able to get our equipment so that we could fight through these hordes to get to the ship, to get on board, to get to the island. And so we did that, and yeah, it was like horde after horde after horde. So we were like going crazy, and we managed to get through them and get onto the ship. So we had sewer battles and we had dock battles. And so now we're on our ship. And of course, you always have to have a pirate encounter. So we had naval battle too. So yeah, it was great. It was we marathon played Friday and then Saturday type of thing. So after we got through the naval battle, we did manage to get through to the port city.
Mhm.
There was we were welcomed and everything else like that. And there was, of course, a festival and a fishing contest. And one of our party actually won the fishing contest. He was a druid and cast talk with animals. So he convinced the fish to come on his hook. So he's now like the hero of the town. So this is, helping our group.
Very convenient.
Yes. And so of course, we then managed to get to the main city, and of course we've got this whole our reputation ahead of us type thing. But the council that's going to elect the next royal doesn't know my character from Adam, so I have to prove myself. And there's demon portals popping up over the island and all kinds of stuff. And to prove myself, they sent some of the other three on different tasks, and my group's task was to go to a nearby island of dwarves and convince them to help us out. We had been on rough terms as far as elves with this dwarven group, so it was going to be pretty risky. So we get there and it's vacant, and of course a group of elves had tried to go there and hadn't been heard of. So of course we have zombie elves coming at us that we have to battle and take care of. So we took care of them and gave them a proper burial. And then we went to this basically deserted dwarven city in the hills, of course, because dwarves like mountains and that. And we go into basically this hall, and there, of course, is the leader of the dwarves. But there's also a beholder, so we have to fight the beholder, which we managed to do. We did it right. We spread out, so only a couple of characters got affected by the dispel magic ray that he did. And so yeah, we finally took him out and won the dwarves to our side. So we returned back to the main city and reported the news. Yay, we got the dwarves on our side and everything else like that. And then demon portals are popping up everywhere. So of course we have to go into this main thing. So at this point then we migrate and do this board game that's a strategic kind of risk type thing that it's actually pretty cool. I don't know the name of the board game in that, but he incorporated it into the game to utilize it. And so we had tokens and like player cards and that, and just strategically working together as a group with the different factions of the four royal houses and then the dwarven army helping us. So that's as far as we got. And then we kind of ran out of time.
Mhm.
So we couldn't quite finish it. So we, our DM kind of summarized what would have happened. By being successful in that, we had won the favor of the people through the fishing, and we had recruited the dwarves and got them on our side. And so we were on the path that my character would have probably swayed to be voted the next royal type of thing. So I mean, we don't know what would have happened, but if we had continued down the path that we were, it would have been a successful kind of thing. So we were excited about that. And then on Sunday, we went to GaryCon and walked around and got to meet some people, and obviously talking to you and that kind of thing, as you know.
That was in the evening because we actually just for the viewers, Sunday I was at Heidi and Eric's house playing. So I actually Saturday night was my last stint at the con, unfortunately, but we did get to meet despite that.
Yeah, we're used to snow, so. But yeah, no, when we were at the con, we're walking around trying to meet a couple of people, and then I saw Darlene, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I recognize you from the show, type of thing. I mean, I wasn't, fan gaga or anything like that, but I said hi, and she was just very gracious. She's like, oh, hi, kind of thing. And I'm like, I saw you on Bill's show. I mean, I know it was a while ago and that kind of thing. And you could tell she was a little bit tired in that because obviously it was the last day of the con, and it was a long stint, and I completely understand, but she was just so nice and so sweet. So we talked for a few minutes.
Sweetheart. Now she posted up on Facebook, and I want to have Darlene on the show again real soon. But she posted up on Facebook. I don't know if you noticed she was wearing a brace on her arm. Yeah, it turns out a day or so before the con, she actually broke her wrist.
Yeah, no, I mean, she was pretty much, kind of in her chair type of thing, and she had her booth all set up for her. And I mean, she shook my hand in that. So she was just, like I said, really, really, just gracious, and she was like, thank you, and everything else like that. So yeah.
She's a very nice lady, and like I said, we want to have her on again real soon. And awesome. I'm not going to go into it right now, just because I want to have all my notes in front of me. But we want to help Darlene out as best we can, insofar as this show has any reach to you guys. Her house still needs some fixing on, but we'll talk about that at a later time. So you were there. You met Darlene. You met Alan, right?
Yes, I did. We walked by his booth like 4 times because his sign was like down on the table and not like up, because I was looking at all like the top on the signs and that kind of thing. So I'm like going up and down the roads and up and down the roads, looking at all the signs on the top, and just like, look for, black, and I'm like, or blade, and I'm like, I can't see it. I'm like, and I got a couple, my gaming people with me, and I'm like, I just don't see it. So we actually walked to the other side and then came back. And I'm like, that's when I messaged him, like, am I missing something? Because the maps all just say, merchant, whatever. And then, you're like, oh, dealer area. And I'm like, yeah, that's a dealer area. What the heck are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't see it. So, and then when you said finally, oh, the end of the second row, I'm like, okay, that's where we went. So we counted it up, and people were standing in front of the sign like every single time we walked by. So it's like, I just stood there, and then when the people moved, I'm like, oh, there it is. So yeah, no, I talked to him for a little bit, and then he's like, oh, did you see Bill yet? And I'm like, nah, not yet. So yeah, we had a good chat in that. So
good. I was fortunate enough to get to play in a game that Alan ran. Alan's a superlative DM, and if he ever takes over the reign on Monday nights, which I wouldn't blame him for not doing, but you'll find out what a great what a great team is. Did you get any con swag?
I did not, because I was there pretty much to say hi to people and that kind of thing. So I'm thinking next year, I'll probably, because it sounds like my DM is actually going to be busy hiking like a long trail. He likes to do these insane hikes. So
right on.
So yeah, I mean, he took like a couple of years ago, he did like a 6-month hike across I don't know, the Appalachian Trail or something, and it took him like 6 months. I'm like, that's insane. But hey, if you like doing that, go for it. So I know he's planning on doing something or other that's going to take a couple of months across a couple of states. I don't know. So it sounds like our off GaryCon is not going to be next year, but probably the year after that. So I'll probably grab a couple of people and we'll actually, do the whole GaryCon thing next year.
Right on. I don't know that I'm going to be able to make it next year, but we'll
never know.
We'll see. Who knows? I was absolutely certain I wasn't going to make it this year, and well, you know what happened next. But no, that's the people spoke. I was to go, so go we did. But no, that sounds like you guys had an absolute ripping time while you were there. Did you swing by anyone else's? I'm not sure what was going on Sunday. Con Sundays tend to be kind of the wind down period, so I'm not sure who might have still been there. I saw I saw a bunch of TSR alumni. Other than Darlene, did you see any?
I saw people running around and everything else like that, and we were there a little bit before they were doing their little card mentalist type of thing. I don't remember who it was, but it was right in front of the dealer thing. So it was kind of like you pick a card out of his hand. I'm sure it's in the what the heck is it? The publication or the guide or whatever they call it.
Yeah, but I forgot to pick one of those up. I meant to buy one of those. They'll probably have some on sale still.
Well, there's online one too that you can go on because they had that little QSR code that you could pull up the map and the program and such. So I'm sure it's online.
Right on.
Yeah, it was like at 9:30, and then the doors opened at 10 or something into the dealer area. So we were just kind of there. So there were like a lot of people just waiting to get in. And so they had their little promotional thing. The cards were like, oh yeah, a discount on, merchandise or whatever type of thing. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But
very cool. Vile says it was the deck of many things and he got to draw from it. Did you get anything good, Vile? Just type it in the chat there. Let us know if you got anything cool. But no, that sounds like a lot of fun. To jump back to your to your campaign that you and your friends do, is it an ongoing campaign or is it just a series of one-off adventures?
Well, he made it specifically for this. So I'm trying to get him to look at publishing it because it's all his own creation. But he's like, he's like, I'm using different formats with the board game kind of thing. And he's like, and purists are going to like completely have an aneurysm because it's like, I went off on a tangent on it and I'm like, hey, why not utilize all that work you did for other people to enjoy it? So I'm kind of trying to get him to do something with it, but who knows? So
that's cool. But I guess what I'm saying is it's not like linked from year to year. It's not like, okay, if you guys remember last year, we did this and we pick up from there to go into this.
No, I mean, this is completely just a single episode just for this year.
Excellent. So now I got to ask this because of course it's who I am because it's the way that it is. But what D&D were you guys using?
We kind of left it open. There wasn't any particular, type of thing. We tend to play a little loose in that. So for like spells in that, we can pick from any of the editions in that. We're not limited. But it's, pretty much, basic standard kind of thing. But if we can argue certain things with him, he'll look it up and kind of hedge with us and we find a happy middle, but it's usually not an issue. So I mean, it's a lot of just your standard, saving roll for spells versus, spells that need your attack roll versus, armor class with just regular melee attacks. So
Right on. Just keeping it simple. I like that. That's the best way. I mean, really, with a good DM, if things are rolling, the addition won't matter. I mean, the only one that I ever felt, and it's funny because I never really played it myself, but looking at the rules, I could tell it was going to be just a gummy mess, just like wading through through tar. Would have been fourth edition, but I've played with I played third edition, 3.5, and D20 base games, a little bit of second. Of course, I love AD&D. With a good DM, though, as long as things are kept moving along, it doesn't really matter. I mean, one might think that with Heidi, it would have been, oh, you're playing original D&D or first edition AD&D or basic D&D even, but no, it was 5e, but not that you could have told.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's all
good.
about the role playing, and then you have your exciting combat sections and that, where you go through and it's like everybody does initiative and everybody does their rounds and attacks and all that kind of thing. And that's, that way with every RPG. It's not even just Dungeons and Dragons, it's everything that does that. So, I mean, it's standard, everybody knows it's coming, and that's just part of the game.
Yeah, it's just I think as long as the love of the game is there, honestly, you've got everything you need. You got everything you need. And by the way, I notice chat has really started to fill up. That's a wonderful thing to see. So for those of you arriving now at 9:00, we will be doing some live Let's Play of Classic Gamma World. So don't fret. You haven't walked into some weird logic trap whereby I said I was going to play, but then we're not. Ha ha ha. No, we are playing. It starts at 9:00. I was a little late getting the notice up for that, hence the lack of details. Thank you, Kabuki, for subscribing. Yes, RPG Grandma has a wonderful YouTube channel. You guys should subscribe to that.
We completely need our Gamma World tonight,
Yeah,
we're kind of missing it.
This is my return to flight. We were apparently Tuesday and Wednesday on camera, I looked like completely clapped out and about ready
you were like
to
a zombie builder.
So yeah, well, I felt it on Tuesday and I was like, I can't give a good D&D game feeling like this. Just like I was so tired from the fun that I had. I knew that the D&D game would be subpar. Just like in weeks past, there have been times when I'm so tired from the stress I felt that I knew I couldn't give a good game. So yeah, we took Tuesday off, but tonight at 9:00 Eastern, that's in less than half an hour, we'll be jumping into some classic Gamma World. Now, so the egomaniac in me makes me ask, are your friends, your regular group, did they listen in to any of the live streams on here on the channel that you play in?
I've given them the links. I don't know if they have or not. I mean, they haven't said anything, so we'll see. I mean, a couple of the players in that I do play with on Saturday mornings because we do have a different group there. We have a Facebook group that we have like a pool of people, probably around 20 people or so. And some of them play in some of the games. Like we were doing a Twilight 2000 game, we were doing an AD&D game. My Saturday group, we rotate what games we're doing because we have AD&D games, So we will play anything but AD&D. So we've played like Morgborg, we've played Aliens, we've played Call of Cthulhu, we've played Symborium, we've played Star Wars. I know there's a couple others that I'm missing, but and we rotate DMs. So we've got like 4 players that DM out of the group. So they decide what they want to play and they throw it out to the group, and everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm cool, I'd love to do that type of thing. And depending upon what people we have on a certain Saturday will determine which game we play. So it's kind of random, but it's fun. You never know what you're going to be doing, so it's awesome. Oh, we also play Cyberpunk. That's another one that we're doing currently. So
excellent. So let me just extend this to any of Sapphire's friends who actually might be listening. Now, if you're not subscribed, please click the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications. But regardless of whether or not you do that, super chat if you want something ridiculous to happen to our character. Just roll that in, and the more money, the more
nice
it becomes.
Set me up there.
That's right. Anyway, but that aside, Kabuki says Twilight 2000 is one game I've never played. I may one of these days in the distant future, not terribly distant future, I would think, but I may do like a let's play of Twilight 2000. I'm not going to add another game stream night to the channel on Monday nights. I can do the show from like 8 to 9:30, and that's usually coming off of a weekend. And then Tuesday night, of course, we play first edition AD&D. Wednesday night is Kyle's. Thursday, I like to keep open for guests, and then Friday we do this. And I'm sorry, I'm not adding a weekend night game stream. So it would have
2 nights off. What the heck?
Go into the Tuesday or the Friday slot. How many
My
mutations?
Last Twilight 2000 that I did was
how much money you got
with a gun.
A nun with a gun. That's
a nun with a gun.
That's what you do. There you go. Our sainted lady of the javelin anti-tank missile. But anyway, Twilight 2000 is a game I could see myself embracing. I actually and these get most of them where they're up there, but I know you guys can't see them. But I actually have some 1/100 scale Cold War era tanks and armored personnel carriers. I've done kind of a medium depth dive of the Twilight 2000 rule set. It's kind of janky. Character generation in T2K is not the easiest thing in the world, nor is combat resolution. But we've done like just a tabletop armor shootout demo. The temptation in Twilight 2000, of course, is to have slugfest with tanks. The problem is modern tanks, it's not like BattleTech, it's not like, oh, you hit and you did this many points of damage. It's you hit, your anti-tank missile burns through the armor plate, sets off the ammo and fuel, explodes, kills all the PCs, roll up new characters. So Robert says $2, hot lips, Houlihan.
Saw that.
Thank you, Robert. I'll leave that up there for just a few minutes.
I don't know how many people are waiting for my snort later.
Yeah.
That seems to be a thing.
I can print 5mm minis, but if I was going to use character minis, I would use at the smallest scale, I would go to 172. But at that point, on a 5-foot diameter table, any vehicular or heavy weapons combat is effectively point blank range. 1/100 scale is the is the biggest it can be, and it still not be just ridiculously close, like, oh, our tanks are 25 meters apart, because most modern tank engagements take place at like a kilometer, because that's how powerful their cannons are.
Yeah.
But Mobius says AKs and hot blondes. If they would like a Saturday night game, I will be hosting. Okay, so everybody, I hope you caught that. Vile Necromancer over on his channel, which you should all be subscribed to. Yeah, 15's not bad. 15's not bad. You can still get some okay detail on 15, but yes, Vile Necromancer. Let me just see here. Over on his YouTube channel, 46 subscribers. Nice. He will be he will be running a live stream game tomorrow evening. You should definitely check it out. Because we were talking about this last night when I had Matt Finch on, and the question went up, how do you keep old school gaming going? And one of the, it was kind of weirdly serendipitous that Vile said this before the question was asked, and it's get young people interested in it. I mean, we're all a bunch of fogies, but it is definitely uplifting and heartwarming to see a young man like Necromancer get in there and start pitching for the old school stuff. So you've been playing. Speaking of which, you started playing in your teens, didn't you? Didn't you, Sav?
Even before that, actually.
So adolescence, early adolescence.
Yeah, when I mean, growing up in Wisconsin and that, my dad made a deal with myself and my brother, and he's like, I'll let you know every time I go to the bookstore, if you want to come with me, I will buy you a book of your choice. So I went with him every time, and that's how I got all of my Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I mean, Lake Geneva isn't that far from Milwaukee, so Walden Books was our store, and you know, it caught my attention, and I got it from the start. I mean, I started with the original Dungeons and Dragons basic box, and then moved up when the expert came through, and then, you know, obviously added to my collection. And my parents were completely cool with it and that. So, I mean, I was one of the fortunate few that didn't have to go through that whole, oh, it's evil, demonic, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, my parents saw it as a creative outlet for me. My dad read science fiction, so it was a complete total win for me, because I get my Dungeons and Dragons stuff, and then when my dad finished his book, I'd read it on him. So yeah, I read through all of my dad's books, and then I got my Dungeons and Dragons besides. So it was, you know, I didn't have that stigma with role-playing games that a lot of other people did. So seeing the movies and seeing throughout the years and that the fallback on it, it was hard for me to understand that, because I didn't have that experience.
Well, that's very fortunate that you didn't. I know a lot of kids, you know, had to deal with that. And now, I mean, I thought that as soon as, you know, rap music and heavy metal started to get popular and teen listening mainstream, that parents had, adjusted for range and switched targets. But I have heard from people who said, people who started gaming in the 90s, and some of them even the early 2000s, they still had to deal with that, which I just can't. I just, like, in the 70s and 80s, it still perplexes me, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, news was by slow boat back then, and you got 3 TV channels and what you'd hear at church, right? So it was a case of Chinese telephone as far as finding out anything other than the most.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we got our first home computer in like '79 when they came out, and when modems came out a couple years later, and that I was connected to the bulletin board systems, and the school systems actually in Milwaukee created a bulletin board type thing. I wasn't in a Milwaukee school, but of course, being a creative kid, I got logged in, so I got onto the bulletin boards, and I quickly learned it was better not to reveal you were a girl. So I hid behind the screens and that kind of thing, so I wouldn't be singled out in that. But there was a lot of interconnection and all that kind of thing, and a lot of the kids that were tech were also into the RPG and the sci-fi fantasy type of things. So it was kind of a hand-in-hand exchange that happened back then, that we kind of created a community that supported each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so it built from that. And I'm sure that Gary was behind all of that and saw that happening and was fostering that kind of movement. And I think that's where it's going to continue too. It's one generation passing that on to the next. And the love of the game and all of that kind of experience that happens that we all live through.
Right on. I just want to answer this question. Uncle Brad says, "Do I remember crawling on the floor playing Jutland?" That was not my jam, but I will tell you this: my wife's dad had a massive collection of Avalon Hill bookcase games. I mean, he probably had half their catalog, a number of which he passed on to us. He doesn't really do them anymore. So yes, out there on bookshelves, I've got Kriegspiel, I've got Panzer Blitz, I've got Fall of the Third Reich, I've got Squad Leader, not Advanced Squad Leader, but Squad Leader. I've got tons of them. Starship Troopers, yes, Dune even. But he used to play by mail with friends. He did. And he would take up the formal dining table with all these Chit and Hex, Avalon Hill, and 3M. Yes, the paper company got into the war games business for a while. War games where he would, he would conduct all of his moves via mail, and that was the
Did he do bulletin board systems too? That's what I did the play by.
I mean, they had a computer early on too in the 80s, but he kept his gaming analog until he discovered computer role playing games, the SSI Gold Box games and so on. But no, his games were all like I said, the Avalon Hill and that sort of thing, and move all the chits around, and then tell the kids don't touch this, don't bump into this. So yeah, that was that.
We need to look at a Dune game. We need to look at a Dune game.
Well, we'll see. Like I said, my cup runneth over as far as gaming and that sort of thing. I mean, and that's kind of the beauty of a lot of the lighter weight games like Dungeon, like Hero Quest, which is the best game in the world. Space Hulk, of course. I can do demos for you guys. Not so much something like Dune or again Squad Leader or something like that. Who was it? GDW's NATO. Yeah, I can't. Games that literally can take up an entire 12-hour day. Avalon Hill Starship Troopers was good, but lighter beer and pretzels kind of games I can do in the show. There's one I would love to demo for you guys, but it falls into that, it's going to be all day, and we've kind of done an unboxing of it, and that is I think you and your group would probably love this one, Safi. It's by Games Workshop. It's called Blood Royale. and it is
I've heard of that. I think I may have played it once.
It is an historical game. It's great because it blends civilization, diplomacy,
it's like pirate ships and stuff, isn't it? And you're
kind of game. No, not this one. This is you play as the crowned heads of Europe from the year 1100 to the year 1400, I believe. But there are actual little role play stats for each of your characters. I think if I can get the box without knocking anything, it's you guys wait to see me knock stuff off. I'll show you real quick, but we're actually coming up on the top of the hour when we're going to be starting some Gamma World. Let me just roll this back. Hang on a second. Let me see. Can I get it?
We're like completely and totally mystified and excited.
Yes, Blood Royale, and this is described as to be the most powerful of monarchs, you need money. Money to raise armies, money to bribe enemies, monies to pay for the marriages of your children. You are the head of a powerful dynasty, ruler of one of the great kingdoms of Europe. Ranged against you are equally powerful monarchs with the same aims: conquest, trade, and a secure dynasty. And you basically you play as one of the greats, and this is this is from the era of cool that Games Workshop once existed in, from like the mid 1980s to the mid 1990s. Games Workshop was actually interested in doing cool stuff and not continuing to squeeze.
I remember that. It was like so fun looking at all the stuff at Walden Books. So Walden Books doesn't exist anymore, though. So
yeah, no. But it's when we got Hero Quest. It's when we got Space Hulk. It's when we got all the little mini games set around 40K and so on and etc. Before they just went completely bananas and decided that you're better off without your money or a freedom of choice in the matter. So it would be wonderful if I could do a Blood Royale demo, but that is quite some time down the road before we can plan on that. So
I'm planning for the marathon here, so count me in.
Well, we'll see about that. I mean, the thing about that is people are like, oh, well, you could just do it when you're doing the 24-hour marathon. The thing about that is you kind of got to have the brain power as well as the time. And I don't know what my brain. I'm going to be wearing holes in my amygdala, so I don't know what I'm going to be up for. It may just be stabbing myself in the leg periodically with a plastic fork to try and stay awake. That may be the game of choice that I play during the marathon, but we'll see. We'll see. GDW had a lot of Traveler-related box games. Now, I know GDW had a lot of Traveler-related supplements. I didn't know they had ancillary boxed games, though.
There's a reason I play and not GM. I do enough for work. I don't have the brain cells left to really run a great campaign, so I'm not going to try to do it.
Right on. If capital I don't think it's going to happen, but if I make it to GaryCon next year, I may go a little bonkers one day. I may just rack and stack, like on Thursday, just be like, okay, I'm running 4 games back to back to back to back.
If you come, you have to let us know so we can like fill all of your slots. Those of us that are coming, because we get first dibs. That's it. We get first dibs.
Hey, Nick Beardia, welcome. Greetings, my friends. It's good to see you. James and Megan from Nick Beardia stopping by to say hello. Has Games Workshop been making good steps recently? No. No. They charge $25 for single miniatures. $25 used to get you an entire regiment of minis, and I'm not talking about back in the 90s. I'm talking about like 10 or 12 years ago. They've all but done away with their specialist games, so probably not, unfortunately, guys, probably not. Seen some good ones about rulebooks. People are saying that the latest 40K is supposed to be really good, and it's good for skirmish games, which is awesome, because guess what? Nobody can afford to field armies anymore. Nobody can afford to field armies. They damn well better be good for skirmish games, because when $300 used to buy you 5,000 points and a couple of vehicles, and now $300 gets you about 30 Marines and no support units. Yeah. John Walker says, I hope John Walker's referring to the 24-hour marathon that my bottom will die and rot off if I do that. No, I'll be getting up and walking around. What put me off GW was my Eldar Corsair Army guys. Yeah, they were notorious. Now that's something that GW has been doing from the get-go. And it's funny you should bring up Eldar Neckbeard. A buddy of mine spent, and this was in like 1990, he spent a long time on paper building an Eldar army and buying figures for it that he was going to put together and paint, and he had some metal figures for leaders and whatnot, and he was working out of White Dwarf, the rules for Eldar that were being slowly published in White Dwarf, and then they released a supplement that was apparently so different from the way he had planned and structured his army that all of his work went down the tubes. So the minis went in a box up on a shelf in his closet and probably got tossed out at some point. I know he didn't do 40K after that. So I absolutely and completely understand GW just kind of saying nah, and
hopefully he repurposed those little guys.
Well, the guy I'm talking about, he was a good guy, but he's very mercurial when it came to gaming stuff. For about a year, he was huge into BattleTech. Bought some minis, painted a couple of them up, talked about building, a force using the Mercenaries Handbook. Again, this is 90, 91, maybe 92 at the latest. And then he just got distracted by something shiny.
Oh,
and I think it was rollerblading
or something. You never know.
Yeah. Full jetpack infantry. That's what I'm talking about. GW just seems hell bent on just paring things down as much as possible. I mean, honestly, if they wanted to make mad bank, just go back to reprinting Space Hulk. Go back to reprinting Space Hulk and selling it for $125 or $130 a set. That's like crack. That is such an awesome intro game to 40K. What's the entry point now? Hey kid, steal your parents' credit card? It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers.
Don't encourage that, Bill. Don't encourage it.
No, I will.
That does happen. One of our gamers actually was talking about his kid that, yeah.
Oh, the stealing of the credit card. Yeah, no. I still love the old lore, but at this point, I don't see myself ever buying new models or playing at all. Yeah, no. I mean, one of my favorite things, and we're just about to start Gamma World. Nick Beardy, I hope you'll stick around and watch us play some Gamma World. But I've said this time and again, because it is really amazing. The Deathwing expansion to Space Hulk is some of the best genre sci-fi ever written. The lore is awesome. How many science fiction authors and how many space war games would say, yeah, you see these guys in power armor over here? They're all Lakota Sioux. And 16 of them are going to fight untold thousands of gene stealers and take their planet back without having to exterminatus the world. That gives me goosebumps. Where is that, Games Workshop? Where is that lore? Where are you doing that? Oh my gosh.
Change in management.
No, they need to change it back to the rule of cool, but that's just me. I don't see the bigger picture. I don't see the bigger picture. I'm just a guy who likes to play games and have fun. And speaking of playing games and having fun, for those of you who are going, what the hell was that? Anyway.
That was the crowd cheering. Sorry.
But anyway, those of you going, it's now time to bring on our Gamma World cast. So let's welcome the one, the only Yang Yan Zhao as that powered armor prince of some alliterative thing that I can't do right now, Rex Dashington. Hello, Rex.
Good evening, everyone.
Greetings.
Hey, Rex. Welcome.
And now, Numbers Rab, played by, thank you, Volcano God. Thank you so much. Oh, it's just James. Okay. My best to Megan, James. I hope she's doing well. I hope everyone in the fam is doing well. Of course, how could I forget the heart and soul and personality of the Gamma World group is none other than Tonka Todd as the preacher. Welcome, Padre.
I do declare there are tornadoes all around me. I may lose internet at any minute.
How would that be
looking good?
Cool connection, Tonka. And I was surprised to see this fellow saunter into the back room. Let us put our hands together and hope that he is doing well. Because we have Doomsword Deathmaster as Numbers Rab joining us this evening. Hello, Doomsword.
What's up?
You. So, the only person we are currently missing, of course, is Kevin, who I think is probably locked down due to work. But hopefully he will be joining us. Kevin, if you're out there listening, but just play on your phone. Just keep it on your desk. Just keep a piece of paper over it or something, and just slide it aside and type in your instructions for us periodically. So it's been a minute or two since we played last time. Who wants to recap us? I'm not going to put it on Doomsword because I know you feel like 5 miles of bad road right now if your voice is anything to go by. But who wants to recap us? Oh, Yang wants to recap us. That's right. I'm sorry, Yang. You go ahead and recap.
Oh, all right.
Nice.
Well then.
Voluntold.
So the party was hanging out in Lanta. We had met the preacher, and he was attacked by a group of technophobes who we pretty much all murdered. Then we met village of Yuxels, I think it was, or a village of some kind of traders. And from there, we headed off towards the spaceport, where there were giant bunny things whose names I can't remember. And then I think we ended somewhere around there.
Yes, you were looking at the vast ruined expanse of the Lanta spaceport. You could see domed buildings off to one side, heaps of ruined machinery pointed skyward, so on and etc.
And the radiation levels were high.
And there were some high rad levels from that area. So you're sitting on the great roadway of the ancients. You have dealt with the hoops. And for those of you unfamiliar with Gamma World, hoop, I'm not talking about just round, circular, hollow structures. These are 6 foot tall rabbits armed with machine guns who can turn metal into rubber by touching it. Thank you, Jim Ward. We love you always. So yes, you have this vast expanse of the Lanta spaceport before you. What do you wish to do?
Can Rex sort of do like a 360 with his to detect which way the radiation is stronger?
So you're basically going to kind of just pan back and forth across the spaceport there, or you're going to go just full arc all the way around?
He is going to spin around like a top.
Okay, so behind you in the city of Lanta, there is one. It's many kilometers distant. It's more or less in the direction of the hospital, actually, and you don't even need your snoopers, your mag goggles, and your power armor to see this. You can see a faint plume of black smoke rising up from that direction. But when you have your snoopers down and your rad sensor up, yeah, that is very hot. You think it might have something to do with a micro missile being fired into the middle of a dry pile nuclear reactor in there. But hey, what do I know?
Didn't do that at all. No.
No, you didn't detonate the 200-year lasting power supply in an ancient hospital. Just because I wanted to gently vivisect 4077 with a malevolent artificial intelligence. But looking around, the rest of the city has nominal background radiation, although, as I said, the plume from the hospital reactor that you blew up will probably spread. The spaceport itself, there's a few warm spots here and there, definitely hotter than background radiation. Vince was asking what character did that. Was Rex in his power armor to put an end to the administration computer in the hospital that just wanted someone to talk to. Was trying to remove the limbs of 4077, or really anyone, and make them stay in the hospital forever. So Rex fired a micro missile into the dry reactor pile and made it go critical.
And that's what killed Bogo. It's all Yang's fault.
Bogo went sizzle pop under the effects of
Bogo, and we moved on because that's the way of the world.
Sometimes when you're command, you have to make the tough decisions.
We tried to get him out. I tried. I wasn't fast enough.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one.
So obviously we're not going back to the hospital, and we want to avoid these things. Why exactly are we going to the spaceport?
I think we just ended up here.
Okay.
I think we were looking for technology, and spaceport kind of said like there should be some technology. So
you probably want some recharges for your armor in that, because eventually you're going to need to do that.
I definitely do. So are there buildings that are not warmer than the other areas, or is it everything is destroyed except for those irradiated areas?
Yeah, there are definitely places in the spaceport perimeter that are not as radiated as the others, places that would be relatively safe. And for those of you who are wondering, no, we're not playing nuclear physics simulator. So don't at me with microsieverts and half-lives and things like that. We had a crusty Yoda with a party for about 3 weeks, and we all know that won't happen. If you're too close to a nuclear blast, you'll just die of super cancer. So, we lost Doom Sword. Hopefully, he'll be back.
He'll be back in a second.
Okay, so yes, there are a few hotspots here and again, and those seem to correspond with buildings that look like they took micro missile hits, but you're not 100% sure. But again, there are structures here and again that look to be intact.
I've got my radiation sensor, so I'll have that out if needed, so that Rex doesn't have to use too much power in his armor. We want to maximize when it's absolutely needed. I don't know how bad you are, but
yes. I was at 18 hours as of the end of last episode.
So.
Just about 18 hours, and your excuse me. By the way, some people are asking if were asking on other social media if I had to touch the con crud because of the way I sound. No, I have literally just been talking so much that my voice is breaking up.
You hope, because this is miserable.
I hope. I don't believe it's the con crud Doom Sword, but let's.
I didn't get anything, but I was only there for 1 day, so.
Let us focus on the bio horrors of Gamma World rather than of Lake Geneva. So, what do you guys wish to do?
I think we should head to those buildings.
Yep.
Yes, avoid those, but go to the other ones. Technology is what we need.
Keep your eyes open. I've been looking juicers for these cells for the longest.
Medical supplies, cells, vehicle fuel, those are all valid options.
Okay, so approaching the domes that are intact, you do not espy anything as far as supplies. There are the ruined remains of ancient vehicles here and again. The closer you get to the domes, you can see now that the roads split and go both up and down as you approach the domes, and there are the corroded remains of ancient indicators. What they could possibly mean, the white zone is for loading and unloading. Yeah, that is just completely eludes you. Yes, there are many levels you can go to the first dome through.
Do any of these vehicles look salvageable?
Absolutely not. They are, some have been blasted, some are crushed. They are just metal rubble here and again. The closer you get to the ramps that approach the dome, the harder it becomes to navigate. You're going to hit a point where you think perhaps maybe when you're a couple of 100 meters from one of the domes, when you will not be able to continue to move forward unless you contrive some way to move the wrecked vehicles out of your way.
I'm assuming all of the tanks in that are pretty much empty in that because of evaporation with the amount of time that's passed.
It could be.
Where to, Dash?
Dash will find the most impressive and technologically looking building and that is not excessively radioactive and point to that.
Okay, well, as it happens, that is the domed building that is almost directly in front of you. It is less radioactive than the other structures, and it is fairly technologically impressive looking. Sticking out of the top of the dome from here, you can see what appear to be now they're snapped off, and some of them are sagged and broken, but there was some kind of structure of metal sticking up out of the top that had these hemispherical partial globes and rods pointing off in other directions. You're not sure if it's supposed to look like that or if the ancient blasts did that to it, but that's what you see, and it is very impressive.
That's where we should head.
Okay.
Works for me.
Have no complaints.
Okay, so you pull up, and numbers your you've got the entire control panel of the ancient vehicle before you there, spread out, and I mean you can visually see this, but just for clarity's sake, at about 90 meters, big red text kind of slides across the screens and says impassable terrain ahead, blockage on road.
Yeah, anytime I see something like that, as a matter of course, I slow down the vehicle.
You want me to check it out? I can scout ahead.
I think that's the way we do it.
All right. I'll get out when he slows down, obviously, and I'll carefully and cautiously fly up, making sure nothing's going to attack me from the air. But yeah, I'll scout ahead.
Alrighty. So moving ahead. Let me see here. Moving ahead, taking to wing, you see that basically it's fallen bits of cement rebar, concrete rebar, signs of collapsed, crushing some of the ancient vehicles. That's essentially what's blocking it. There are pathways, plenty of open spaces that you could go on foot. You're just not going to fit something as big as your vehicle and your trailer in through that way.
So going on foot from this, can I estimate how long it would take or how far it is to this magical technology building from where everything's basically broken down?
Yeah, it's about 90 or 100 meters. It's not very far at all.
Oh, so it's just like a quick jaunt, so it's not like horrendous. Okay. So I'll fly back and I'll report that and say, hey, there's the concrete all broken up and vehicles and everything else like that, but it's just a short trip from that to the building.
Looks like we can make it through by foot.
Yeah.
Let's go then.
GM, I don't know if I've ever asked this. I think I did once, but is there a way to disable this vehicle? Like temporarily, like I can take something off of it, wander off, come back, put it back on, and go about my business?
Roll a d10.
I thought you had a little control that you could lock it and set the alarm.
There may have been something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you
yeah. Go ahead. I rolled a 10.
Yeah, you're not really sure if you yank anything off if it'll leave the car, if you'll be able to put it back on. But you do have that little oval shaped bit of ancient technology that if you press a button, there's a loud beep emanates from the vehicle. You hear a clunking sound that locks all of the doors and windows.
Fair enough. Thanks for the reminder. I suppose that'll be sufficient.
Well, and probably we have somebody that will want to stay in guard because he's still not 100%, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah. Your erstwhile companion Do-Re-Mi says, just leave me something that's got a little bit of punch other than this, and he hefts his crossbow, and I'll stay here.
I'll toss him some crossbow bolts.
Rex will hand him his crossbow as well and say, "You can do a wheel of these."
I'll give him my vibroblade. Hey, what did we have from Bogo? I'm sure there was some stuff there.
Bogo had a power blade. I think that was it.
Rex took that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hang on. Let me flip back a couple of pages here to Bogos. He used the last of the frag grenades.
Yeah.
Bogo had a needler
Well, there you go.
with 3 clips of the poison and 2 clips of the paralysis.
There you go. Needler. We're all good.
Wow. I just rolled 1171, and with the bonuses that Do-Re-Mi gets on his rolls, he's able to pretty quickly figure out how to use it. He drops a disc full of poison needles in and racks the slide and says, "Right, I'll just sit here with the cool air blowing going on and wait for you guys to rejoin me."
No.
If you feel like dominated, take that dead guy's finger and put it in your ear.
I won't.
Hey,
I
you got it.
won't.
I don't need to give you any lessons.
Don't use the cool air. That will run down the battery.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'll stay with the vehicle, and if I don't see you guys in a little while, I'll come and look for you. And if a full day passes and you don't return, it's been nice knowing you.
Oh, here.
Basically.
Yes. Yeah. If you get too hot, you may use this. And Preacher hands him a homemade church fan. You may cool yourself with this, sir.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks, Preacher.
There's plenty of food in the back there too, on the trailer. Trust me.
Gotcha. All right, so you all, I'm guessing you begin to leg it towards the first spaceport dome.
We walk from here.
All right.
I'm gliding, hovering. I find it's better if I don't walk. There's things that grab you in the ground.
I shoot its wings off.
Nice.
Okay, so it takes you a little while to pick your way through the rubble. Anything too big, Rex, with just a casual push of his power armored fist, is able to shove out of the way. But you now stand in what looks like a long tunnel that goes straight through the dome. The dome is big enough that the light in the distance is just a mere crescent ahead of you. On the left-hand side is what can only be described as a series of massive shelves. On these shelves sit the ruined remains, like picked clean, stripped, decayed, rusted remains of vehicles. Now, most of them are empty. Most of the shelves are empty, but you do see those. On the right-hand side is a dully gleaming metal framework. Scattered along the ground in front of it with the little bit of light that's coming in from behind you, you see the glimmer of millions upon millions of shards of glass. These might have been windows or moving doors or what have you. Here and again, you see skeletons. There are rotted articles of clothing. There are cases that look like they were being carried. Occasionally, there are non-functional devices that look a bit like the grav sled that you're towing behind your vehicle that are piled with these cases. But to a one, they're almost all burst open and picked through. Ahead of you, the expanse into the back is very dark.
I'll pull down my gogs and proceed along the left side, checking that stuff as I move along, while keeping an eye out in front of me.
Okay. Other than the warmth that has kind of simmered through, that's no doubt the heat of the sun that's warming the dome outside, you don't see anything of particular interest on the left-hand side within the vehicle shelves.
As we're going through, I'm kind of scanning everything just to make sure there's nothing that might be useful for us that catches my eye.
Who's taking the right side?
Rex will go to the right.
Okay. Rex on the right, maybe 50 meters in, there is what looks like some kind of a small room that extends out almost to the edge of the ancient road that goes through the middle of the tunnel. It too has windows. A few of them are intact. And you can see there is a desk and what looks like some kind of ancient technological device sitting on the desk. It's perhaps 30 centimeters on a side.
Okay.
But beyond that, you can't tell what it is.
So Rex will investigate the room. So before we get to the technological device, does it look like anything will murder me in there? And do I hear a voice?
You don't hear a voice, and unless Rex has suddenly ported in from Greyhawk, and you are immediately aware of you're immediately afraid of skeletons. There's probably nothing in there that will murder you.
Okay, I will try to activate this ancient device and see what's up.
Okay, give me a D10 roll.
Does any of us notice him meander into the room?
Oh, 2.
Okay. You very delicately, with your armored glove, reach onto the... There's an array of plastic squares in front of you. You think you recognize this. This is a board of keys, and you very delicately tap one of the keys, rather than if you had rolled a 10, which I would have said, you drive your entire hand through it, the desk, and the floor. And the screen before you flickers to life. And the rest of you, yes, you see Rex walk into this room.
Rex will try to make it do something, bring up a directory, a menu, graphical interface.
I'll cover the entrance.
All right.
I'll fly into
7.
the room.
Let me see here.
Rex, maybe try that without the armor on, at least on your hand.
Rex isn't paying attention. He's using all of his concentration to delicately press the buttons.
Okay. Click. Let me see here. I need to crack this open here. Pardon me. There we go.
That's never a good sign.
Can your armor withdraw over your fingers? Just for future note.
That's a good question.
Okay, so Rex, you rolled a 1. What was your next roll?
I rolled a 2 first, and then the second time a 7.
A 2 and then a 7. Screen blinks from the pale white text saying waiting for input to green, and it says unauthorized input.
Rex, take your armor off your fingers.
Is it possible to just remove the glove, or do I have to get out of the whole thing?
No, you have to get out of the armor.
Nope, not doing that. He will look for any button that looks like an authorized button.
Roll another d10. Thank you for the super dude. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
8.
You rolled an 8?
An 8. This won't be here long.
Okay. You press down on the keyboard. There is a loud beep. And the screen now says charge or swipe ID card authorize 033.
Do I see any sort of cards on any of these skeletons?
That's a fine question. Let's find out.
Woohoo! We're shaking the bones.
All right, so the skeleton at your feet in the booth there. Hang on a moment.
I'm surprised the preacher isn't doing something with these bones.
Now that would be disrespectful.
You could be praying over them. I don't know. Making sure that they start their journey.
Honey, their journey began long before I came here.
Okay, so they're clipped to the tattered remains of this thing's vest is a red card that has a badly faded photograph. It's got a tightly packed series of vertical lines underneath the photograph, and it says Tom, Smith, comma Tom, and then has a series of numbers and a series of other numbers, and you can faintly make out Spaceport Security.
Perfect. I will take that card and try to either wave it over or insert it in the correct place.
Give me a D10 roll.
This is not going well. 7.
Don't blow us up.
Look, how many nuclear reactors could I
as he
possibly
blows you up
destroy in one city?
No. I'm reminded of that episode of The Simpsons when Homer caused a nuclear meltdown in a reactor simulator. So let's see. You do not blow them up. However, half a moment. Hey, Dungeon Minister, welcome one and all. And just as I said, if you guys are not already, please subscribe to the Dungeon Minister's channel. if you would please check out the Dungeon Minister channel. So that was another 7. It doesn't change. You gotta wave it around and tap it on it, and it doesn't change. So nothing's broken, but it doesn't change.
I look at Rex. Come on, I expect more of you. Come on.
There's more than one skeleton in here, right?
No, just the one.
Oh, just the one. All right. Well, I am going to try again. First, I'm going to open the hood to my suit, and then I'm going to blow on the card, and then I'm going to wipe it on my shirt.
And you're going to tap on the side of the slot where the card goes, just because it needs a little refresher. Who's in charge?
All right.
Give it a stern look into and says, "You can be replaced."
7.
Yeah, it's not responding to your tapping the card on the terminal at all.
Okay, I want to try to tap the card and press in that code, the one that you had said. What was it, 133 or 033?
I'm going to put my finger on it and say, "Lady Luck."
I'm going to try
Just
both
we're
at
in
the same
Vegas
time
almost.
and try rolling a different die.
All right, roll it.
6. Improvement.
Okay. It does more of the same.
Preacher comes up and says, "Maybe your large mechanical hands are too cumbersome to insert correctly, sir. If you will show me where this goes, I will use my hands to do it."
So Rex will give him the badge and point to the area where at least he thinks he should be tapping.
Okay. Give me a D10 roll, if you would, please, Preacher.
Oh, God. Okay, great. I'm going to blow us up now. Great. I do declare. Hey, I rolled a 4.
You rolled a 4. Well, whatever his instructions were, they didn't change anything on the screen. It's still the same.
Oh, okay. I'll put it under my arm, like in my armpit, and wipe it real good and blow on it and flick it like a Polaroid picture. And then I'll blow in the area where he said the card goes. I'll blow in that area and try again.
Okay. Roll it.
And I rolled a 10.
Oh my God.
Nothing bad happens, but nothing different happens.
I take it from him. I'm like, "Oh my God, you guys."
What the hell you guys doing over there, man? I ain't got all day.
I don't know what they're doing, so I take it. Okay. What are we trying to do here? What are we trying to do?
Yeah, we should have brought Doe. Left the preacher down in the vehicle.
Yeah. It is what it is.
We just need to turn
so I
this.
take a card, and I'm like, okay. Tell me what.
Look, man, I'll take a look at this thing. I ain't promising nothing.
Numbers,
Okay.
do you want to take the card or should I? Obviously, we have a problem with inserting a card. You want me to do it or you got it?
Either way. You think you got it? Sissy, go ahead for it.
All right. I take the card. I have Rex show me exactly where he wants this thing. And it's a 10, right?
Yes, it's a D10.
And I rolled a 1.
Ooh.
Okay. You turn it around so the stripe is facing inboard and slide it. And there is a beep. And at the top of the screen there before you, the top of the display, it says tertiary login menu. Enter your ID credentials, please.
I point to my eyes and I point to Rex. And then I point to the thing. Make it work.
Oh no, you drive from here. You were doing great.
Yeah, you still trust that thing? Just do what you gotta do. Come on. I ain't never seen such lack of confidence from a bot.
So, is this something we can figure out?
You can keep typing away on it.
What are the options?
It's waiting for some kind of input. It's a tertiary login screen, input auth ID.
Is there anything on the skeleton that has any kind of ID cards, information, a wallet, anything that might have
Nope.
something that's helpful?
Tattered remains of clothes. That's it.
Rex will say, "Is there a login number or code on that badge?"
There's lots of numbers and codes on that badge. You're not sure which one it might be.
Come on, Synth. You got this. It ain't so hard.
Try typing in "praise the Lord." That always works for me.
I'm looking at the card. Is there anything that sticks out?
No. Just strings of cryptic numbers.
Well, let's try randomly a cryptic number on the string to see if that might be it.
Roll a d10.
All right. Roll a 2.
Okay. Okay. You are at the secondary login, and it's just prompting you for something called final credentials.
Let's pull another thing off of the card.
Give me a roll.
A 3.
A 3. Doesn't change. You try a string of numbers and it doesn't change.
All right. It's still that same prompt.
Yes.
Let's see if we got luck on our side. Got a 1.
Okay. Login authorized. There's a screen that says play announcement, traffic status, log out, override security emergency, and shutdown.
I think maybe we need override security. What do you guys think?
Sounds like a plan.
Go for it. Come on, you're wasting my time.
Overriding security. Let's see what this puppy brings us.
Okay, it says, comes back up on the screen, security override prompt authorized. And it does that for a second. Oops. And then it goes back to the menu just before that one.
So what was the options on that menu?
That was play daily announcements, traffic situation status, logout, and shutdown, and then the what you just did, the security override.
You guys think there's anything useful out of these menus?
Maybe we should check the flight announcements. Maybe it'll say the last time something flew out of here.
All right. Sound good?
All right, so which one are you checking? Traffic status?
Yeah,
yeah.
traffic status.
You pull up that one, and it just, the screen kind of becomes garbled, and it comes back with a window, a little window that pops up and displays the message, traffic sensors damaged. What to do?
So what do we have left besides logout? Seems we're kind of at a dead end here.
Seems you're kind of at a dead end.
Well, you're welcome to take
What
over.
you got for us? What's the problem?
Well, it seems like everything's damaged, so it doesn't have anything useful for us here.
Well, let's blast it to hell then.
But
Move along.
before we destroy, let us first see if this little box can tell us the layout maybe of this area, so that we may have maybe perhaps a map to use.
We could. Anybody got anything useful out of it? I mean, you tell me how far you got, I'll look into it. I ain't the best, though.
I mean, was there something like that in a prior menu that we might be able to go back to utilize it?
You did
I
not
don't know.
in prior menus.
I mean, I step back, and if somebody knows how to do it, go for it.
I'll chop that crap with my vibro blade.
All right.
Preacher's going to walk around the room looking for anything on the walls that could be like a map or a layout of the area.
In this booth, which now smells of burnt plastic because Numbers has sliced his vibroblade into the ancient computer terminal, ending all further conversation and use from it. You don't see anything immediately in the little 2 meter by 3 meter booth that you are in.
When he gets on with that, I'm grabbing the card and I'm taking it with. We might be able to use it later.
Alrighty.
I guess we should go on then.
You're the boss.
So with nothing else in there, Rex will head back out and carefully look around and continue down that hall, or that side, I should say.
Preacher will continue to look for something that could be possibly a map.
Okay.
I'm looking for traveler kiosks. You are here.
You don't.
Of course, I'm looking for chargers for hydrogen cells.
Okay. You don't spot any immediately, but you do periodically see flat black panels on the wall that have signs above them that say information.
Oh, the first one, even if it's black, I'm going to it and I'm tapping on it. See if it's got power. I want to power it up.
Okay, it flickers fitfully to life. There is there are pink and green and black vertical lines all the way through it. But smiling pleasantly behind the screen, you see the face. It looks like someone sitting at a desk with some lovely greenery behind her, and with a burst of static, it addresses you and says in a strangely accented voice, "Good afternoon, sir. What can I help you with?"
Can I get a printout of the map of Atlanta Airport?
"I'm sorry. I don't currently have the ability to produce hard copy. If you have a personal device and would like to scan the code below," and it stammers and stutters for a few minutes and finally comes back and says, "Provided to you."
Can you display it on your screen?
"Of course." The screen flicks off and then comes back on, and you recognize pieces of map, but they're all like overlapping and like there are sections that are missing, and maybe it's supposed to be that way. You're not sure. You have no idea but it looks fairly chaotic. There are a number of orange dots flashing, and they all say you are here. So you're either in some state of quantum superposition or this thing is malfunctioning in some fashion.
Can you clean the map so it's accurate, please?
It flicks back to the person whose entire form is now similarly arranged, and it says, "Problem I sorry having display you me I with. Help you can shut down maintenance for you thank." And the screen blinks off.
Okay. When I come to the next one, I will do the same thing.
Preacher taps 4077 on the shoulder and says, "It asks for a device. Could our armored friend here possibly be that device?"
We can ask him. I'm not sure of all of his capabilities, but yeah, we can ask him.
Is Rex still with them, or is he further down the hall
now? Where did Rex want to be? Does he want to be with the party or just moving up the hall?
Well, I think he would stay with the group.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I've never tried that before. Does he have any potential to scan the thing and get a copy of the map?
Rex, you have, you know how your power armor works, and you know you're able to connect to data networks wirelessly. You can certainly try it.
Oh boy! All right, Rex will try it.
Okay. So you'll have to try and get the kiosk or the display plate back working again. Rex, do you want to try it, or does someone else want to touch the screen? Rex.
All right, Rex is going to try it. He will gently tap the screen and say, "Computer, computer."
All right, you touch the screen without inflicting too much more damage than it's already suffered. It comes up. There's just like whole sections of this image missing now that are just green, and it is glitching out. You're not even sure what it's saying. It's just kind of stammering. But there's what appears to be that spot where you can download something.
All right, I would like to try to scan that.
Do it.
Okay, give me a D10 roll.
Blow up the suit. Blow up the suit.
That's a 10.
Oh
Okay.
my god!
Wireless network connected, and you see like a little progress bar start going, and then everything on your heads-up display glitches. And it just like you are being strobed in the face at maximum brightness with like random bursts of alphanumerics that you've never seen on your suit's displays before.
And he'll yell, "Oh, it's like my college days," and he will try to disconnect.
Okay, give me a D10 roll.
Oh no. 7.
Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of you.
Oh, flip!
See.
I'm ducking and weaving.
What is the maximum damage on a punch that that Rex does?
96.
Oh dear.
90.
Oh dear.
Technically +1 for each die.
One of us is dying today, apparently.
Roll for new party.
All right. I'm gonna let's see. I'm gonna say that Numbers has got a chance to avoid this, given his preternaturally high reaction when he just sees your arm just like fly out like that as you're standing next to him. Oh, sweet. Okay, so yeah, Numbers rolls under that, and your fist just embeds in a concrete pillar. There's all kind of alarms going on in your suit.
Dude.
Can I?
What the heck?
If I can, I want to do a hard restart.
Okay, Numbers, you just ducked under as Rex walked up and tried to somehow communicate with this vision display.
Cold cock.
Began to twitch, and then he thrashed out, and you just ducked under his great mechanical arm. Rex is yelling something about rebooting. 4077, what are you doing?
I'm like flying back and staying out of our way. Oh my god, what the heck, dude?
Todd, what is Preacher doing?
Preacher is shaking his head and says, "Sir, if you cannot interface, there is no need for violence."
Doomsword, what is Numbers Rab doing?
Yeah, you can hear me all right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why I've been getting kicked out over that. I'm going to point my rifle in the general direction of the altercation, but I ain't taking a shot until I see something more convincing. I'm staying away.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll initiative if you would, Rex. We'll see if you can get ahead of this cascade of malfunctions.
Oh,
3.
We need to
Okay.
back out of this room right now.
Give me a D10 roll. You are in basically, like if you've been in an airport, a multi-level airport, and there's essentially a tunnel where you've got the terminals on one side and then parking on the other. That's kind of where you're at. You're not really in a room. So what'd you get?
You die, guys. I got a 9.
Okay. Your suit spins around and faces, let's see.
Wow.
1, 2, 3,
The
4, 5,
wall.
6.
You're going through the wall.
We got to take him down.
Numbers. Rex's
Of
suit.
course.
And you see the box with the little rockets kind of rocks up onto his shoulder, but then goes back down, but then comes back up, but then goes back down, but then comes back up. You're not sure what's going on.
Interface.
He used to irritate me. Now he's pissing me off.
He lost. He lost to whatever's going on here.
Gang, is Rex saying anything during all of this?
He will say just repeatedly, Control-Alt-Delete, Control-Alt-Delete.
Okay.
RM-R star.
4077 is moved away. Preacher is standing nearby. Numbers is standing nearby. Rex, you still trying to get ahead of this?
Yeah, he's gonna try to stop it. I got like 3 more D10s I can try.
Okay. Numbers. You have the ball. What are you doing?
I'm gonna wait.
All right. Roll initiative, Rex.
3.
It is a tie, so let's see. It is still facing numbers. Rex, go ahead and roll a d10.
1.
Okay. Whatever you're doing, it seems to work because the like you can fire off all of your mini missiles in a great anime-inspired cloud of crisscrossing contrails, and just preceding that, like all the target pippers like show up and lock onto a target or multiple targets nearby. They all do that to numbers, and you're holding your breath. You're madly mashing on things with your chin and yelling commands into it, and it goes back into standby mode.
Oof.
You are your heads-up display is now normal.
Got it.
Nice work.
Hi, Pekin. Dude, don't do that again.
All right, maybe we need to find some other device to interface with these flat things.
Yeah.
And as you are having this discussion, in the distance, in the darkness, you hear the sound of wailing sirens.
Didn't we turn the alarms off?
Have we heard these silent sirens before?
You've heard things like them back at the Stronghold base, back at
Right.
these particular ones are drawing ever closer, and in the darkness, you can see your red and blue strobing lights at about person height approaching very, very rapidly.
Damn
What
it.
are you doing?
Quick, everyone hide.
Or kill.
Can I fly upward?
Yeah, you've got about 3 meters you can go straight up.
So, like, I'm still enclosed though, so I can't go up and like see what's coming.
Correct.
I'm early. Okay.
Correct.
I'm gonna find some little spot that I can fly and kind of hide in.
Okay, you think you can get to some cover. What is
Preacher.
What is Preacher doing?
Preacher is going to get his slug thrower ready, and he's going to take cover by stepping behind the armored one.
Okay. And what is Rex Dashington doing?
Rex is he's gonna stay where he is, and when it comes close enough, he will order it halt.
Okay. A round goes by, and you can very clearly see now there are these dull silver and blue vaguely humanoid bots approaching you very quickly out of the darkness. They are 2.5 meters tall. They're stepping over and around things, so they're not moving at an incredibly blistering pace, but they have cylindrical arms that come out of stubby triangular shoulders, and on each shoulder, alternating on each side, there are red and blue flashing lights. And you shout halt, and they shout halt back at you. And one of them says, "Attention intruders, lay down your weapons. This is Spaceport Security. We are authorized to use all necessary force to detain you."
I fling the security badge down at Rex and say, "Use that!"
So Rex will catch it, and he will say, "Halt, I am the new head of security. I've just arrived, and I've just deactivated the state of alert. We will be reopening the spaceport soon, so we will have multiple personnel here. Stand down."
Okay. The first one repeats what it said, and the second one says, "Unauthorized use of military hardware in this spaceport is a violation of Spaceport Security Directive 9. You will now surrender. You have 30 seconds to comply."
I said, "This is a violation to me."
Rex is
I'll
going to
take
hold
a
up
shot.
the security badge, and he will say, "I am head of security. I order you to shut down now."
Okay, roll your attack, please, numbers. You're aiming at armor class 2.
He is fast.
Right on. Hell with this thing, man. This is ridiculous. 20.
Roll your damage.
Yeah, that's a 66 on this particular weapon. Let me grab this. Uh, 25.
Wow. Okay, yeah, you burned away a significant amount of metal and plastic off of this thing, and it flips up its arms and says, "Use of a Class B destructive energy device is a violation of Spaceport Security Directive 10. You will now be detained." Okay, let's roll initiative then. And how about Todd, start us off. Roll initiative, please.
Oh, we all finna die. Okay.
It's a D6.
I rolled a 2. We are finna die, guys.
Nice.
Okay. This one raises its metal arm. Its hand kind of rotates until there is a large open-ended cylinder, and you hear a ka-chunk. All right, that kind of lands more or less between where Rex between Numbers and Preacher. So let's see. What is Numbers' total constitution?
Sorry, that'll be 17.
Okay. You are coughing and wheezing, but you are not incapacitated. What is Preacher's total constitution?
Oh, that's a large heroic 9, sir.
Okay, Preacher, you go, oh dear, I had better hold my breath. And then that floor-blowing odor hits you, and you go down. It's like you start to see stars, and the floor is going to be the best place for you. So you are unconscious now. So the first one is gone. The second one fires a stream of rubber bullets at Numbers Rab. That's
AC4.
AC4. It is shooting a slug thrower at you. That is a class 10. On a class 4. Class 10. Nope. They go zinging back as you matrix roll aside. Okay. Rex, do your thing.
All right. Rex will grab the one that shot out the canister, and he will try to punch its robotic heart out.
It is still many meters away, so unless you want to spend this round moving up to it.
No, then I will, with his laser pistol, I will shoot it.
Kazap. Go ahead, roll it.
3.
That will not hit. It just dodge. It's easy bringing that arm up and just glides to the left. Was 4077 going to try and do anything other than look really angelic and pretty up there?
I mean, my Needler isn't going to really affect it because it's a robot, so I'm just going to stay out of the way and look pretty.
Alrighty. In the new round, what is Numbers going to do?
I'm gonna shoot it with my last blast from my capacity of my rifle.
Alrighty. So go ahead and roll that.
All right, here it goes. Oh, 16.
That will hit. Is this the same one?
Yes, sir. Same one I shot before. Uh, 15 points of damage.
Okay. You blast another hole in it, and it jerks back. What is? Oh, sorry, Preacher, you're down. What is Rex Dashington doing?
Are they close enough now to punch, or?
They are close enough now. Actually, no, they are hanging back by about 10 meters and peppering you with non-lethal weapons fire thus far.
All right. Well, I guess I'll try to shoot it then.
Go ahead and roll initiative, please.
Oh. Initiative is 3.
Okay. One of them using anti-gravity has lifted off and is moving towards where 4077 is. The other one is going to fire a stream of slugs at numbers. This time it doth connect with you, and
Lame.
now this is non-lethal damage. So basically, when you hit 0 from this attack, you're not considered dead, just unconscious, but you are pummeled by a
Yeah.
of hard plasticine slugs.
Ah!
You stagger back, taking that's 14, 30 points of damage.
Oh!
The party may now counterattack.
All right. Well, Rex will shoot.
Preacher will drool.
Rex got a 10.
Is there one or two of these robot things?
There are 2 of them, and one of them has spent this round rising up and is about 5 meters away from you. Rex got a 10. It is laser pistol. It is armor class 2.
I'm taking my vibroblade and I'm ramming the sucker like I'm jousting.
Okay. Language, young lady. We're a family live stream here. So
I said,
good.
like
Christian
I'm jousting. I did change it.
I know. So let's see. That is not sufficient to hit him, Rex. He kind of jerks to the left. Go ahead and so you're moving up into melee with it. Go ahead and make your melee attack.
What do I need to roll?
You're using a vibrate. Well, it'll be a D20 physical weapon attack.
Okay, give me a sec. All right, let me dig out some 20s. At least one. That's what I need is one. Who's feeling it tonight? What color? Yeah, there we go. That is a 13.
A 13. Let's see. The Vibro Blade is weapon class 5. That will hit.
Yes.
25 points of damage. You slice it into its plastisteel insides, just ramming it home, leaving a glowing hole. There's sparks and all sorts of things, but it is still mobile, but you can certainly attack it again. New round. Numbers, what you doing?
Reloading.
Okay. What is Rex doing?
Rex is going to close the distance. If he can, he'll punch the one that's on the ground. If not, he'll just close up the distance.
Okay, you will spend this round closing the distance. You loom in its photoreceptors, so it's paying attention to you now. Safi 4077 is going to try and slash this one again. I take it, yes? Savvy? Savvy?
Sorry, am I attacking again?
I'm asking if you are going to attack in the new round.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and roll initiative for us then? That's a D6.
Okay. Let me find a 6. That's a 1.
Okay. This thing reaches out with two metal tentacles and tries to wrap you up in them. And it will do so. And you feel a painful and numbing jolt of electricity. What is 477's constitution?
That's a 12.
Okay.
Ooh.
There's pros and cons to everything.
Let me see here. Just want to double check. Okay, and how many total hit points do you have right now? Safi, how many total hit points does 4077 have right now?
I'm at full hit points, which is... Let me look at my sheets. 50.
Okay, yeah. So that, like, you feel your fingertips go numb. This thing has got its metal tentacles wrapped around you. It's gonna be able to do that again in the next round.
I'm playing Whip It. Flying Whip It. I'm going to fly like crazy and see if I can slam the thing against a wall.
Okay. Yeah, Rex, this thing hoses down your power armor with a spray of plastic bullets. Your shield is knocked down by, that's 9, and 20 points. Yeah, your energy field goes from green right into deep yellow, but it's still up. So 4077, you're going to kind of try and thrash this thing around. Rex, go ahead and do your thing.
All right. Well, he's going to try to karate chop it.
Okay, this one has already taken a lot of damage from Numbers, who, by the way, you have fit your next hydrogen cell into your rifle, Numbers. So at the end of this round, you'll be able to act again.
Sweet.
All right. Do you want me to roll for attack or initiative?
Roll for an attack, because you guys are acting now.
19.
That will hit.
All right. It's 96 plus
96.
1 for each die.
Yes.
All right. Six plus 37 plus 6 is 43.
Wow. Yeah, you collapse this thing. Just wham.
I told you to halt.
And it does. just crumples like one of the ancient cylindrical aluminum containers that you occasionally see and step on for the fun of it. Just crunch and falls over. The one that Sapphire 4077 kind of struggles. This thing is heavy and it's using anti-gravity. It's not thrashing anywhere. So Preacher is down. 4077 cries out in pain, and as you look up there, you see this thing's got metallic silver tentacles wrapped around her and not pinning her wings, fortunately. And it is going to attack her. What is Numbers going to do?
Shoot the one on 4077.
Okay.
I mean, I'm flying down, so they can kind of help, if possible.
What is Rex going to do?
Rex will try to fly up to grab the thing and try to dislodge it from 477.
Crush the.
Okay.
Crush it, crush it, crush it.
Okay. Go ahead and take your shot then, please. Numbers.
13. And that's 13 weapon class.
Okay. You do not shoot 4077, which is probably good.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah. And let's see. So that's a 13. With a 13.
Yes, sir.
All right. That will hit.
All right. That's going to be 5, 9, 12, 18, 21.
Okay, yeah, you blast it real good. 21. Yeah, it's you slag it and damage it some more. Rex, you're flying up in this round. I'm really sorry, Todd, that you're unconscious and not able to act right now.
That's okay. He's having chicken fried dreams.
Ooh,
Either that or the biscuits, huh?
that was how much damage did I do to you in the previous round? Was it 15 that 4077 took?
I don't know. It's counting on you to know.
Oh, yeah,
I think it was.
yeah.
It
So
was 15.
Okay.
All right, 15, and you just took 22. So that is 37, and your total hits are what?
50.
Okay. 4077 cries out and goes limp in this thing's metal grasp, and it detaches.
I'm going down to Rex. I'm like,
It basically wraps her up with one arm. She's just hanging there limp and unconscious. It detaches one of the arms and shoots it out at numbers. Rab, let's roll initiative, please, if you could. Why don't you go ahead and roll it for us, Todd, since you're not doing anything else?
Not doing anything else. I'm having a good time listening to you guys get beat up. This is great.
Right.
and then
Better roll well.
take my vibroblade and like hack at the limbs.
No,
Tonka.
I do declare that is a 6, sir.
Rex, you may act.
He will try to punch the crap out of the one on 4077.
Okay, roll it.
18.
That will hit.
Six plus 6 is 32.
That is just obscene. I've got to do something about that. I got to mutate you or something. Okay, yeah,
He's got
You-
limited time on this, so
you punch it right in its robot head, and whatever vital processing power it had up there, since it no longer has it, it no longer functions and falls the 3 meters to the floor. Take 2 actual points of damage, 4077. The rest is stun damage, but that's 2 real points of damage. So you wake up with a few bruises. Speaking of which, numbers, Rab, like your chest is just dotted with these Buckeye-sized
Yeah.
all over the place from the riot gun rounds.
when I finally shake out of my thing, I'm going to do first aid to myself and numbers.
Oh, tell us how you're shaking out of your thing.
Apparently, I'm on the ground.
Yeah, so you are you will be stunned for a while. Let's see. Just keep simple and moving along.
Little birds stunned to the ground.
Yes. So an hour passes, at which point both Preacher and 4077 regain consciousness. Yeah, Preacher and 4077, you were knocked unconscious differently. Preacher, you just kind of wake up like you've got a sick headache. 4077, like the tips of your extremities are all numb. It's very kind of bah.
So I'm trying to like do first aid to myself, and I look pathetic. I'm like, I call somebody over. I'm like,
Yeah, you're.
I instruct them how to wrap things and stuff.
Tips of your angel wings are singed, and you know your hair on your head's kind of frizzy. But while that's going on, nothing comes along to disturb you guys. What is Rex and Numbers doing?
Rex is probably he's probably going to explore a little bit more the area, but not so far that he can't see the others.
Okay. And how about Numbers?
Yeah, I'll follow Rex.
Okay. So, leaving your unconscious companions lying on the terminal floor, you stroll around for a bit. There are broad galleries that lead off in different directions. There are smaller openings in smaller areas. You can see the remains of brightly colored signs and whatnot gleaming under your searchlights and your IR, but you don't immediately see anything of note. You see they're sort of towards the center, and this is a long way away. This is like 500 meters ahead of you, so it's like half a kilometer. There is a mass of plants, overgrown plants, stretching upwards towards a hole in the ceiling. You can see sunlight pouring through. They have spilled out onto the floor around wherever they originally grew. It's almost like a small forest over there.
Rex will say to Numbers, nothing ever good comes from plants or vegetarians.
No doubt.
You don't make
I'm
friends
a carnivore. I'm a meat eater.
Yeah.
Are there any check-in terminals around? Or like, the desk, the counters?
Yeah, you see desks and counters and kiosks and that kind of thing. You see what appear to be hallways or tunnels that go off further towards the back of this place.
Can I search the drawers?
Sure.
I will do so.
Just searching one, you don't really find anything of interest. You find a few bits of broken electronics and glass. Let's see. Because you are kind of poking around in ruins. Let's see if there's anything interesting here.
Come on, lounge pass.
200 extra Delta miles. 385 extra Delta kilometers.
So with inflation, that's like 200 yards.
Had a terrible flight home from LaGuardia on Delta. It was not fun. I have to call them and yell at them tomorrow about it.
That's because Delta sucks.
Well, I won't argue that point with you. All right. in one of the drawers, Yang. Oh, we lost a couple of people. Let's add 4077 back. Sorry about that. There you are.
Yep, not a problem.
There is there's a plastic case inside of a clear plastic bag with a red sticker sealing it, and it says seized by the sticker says seized by order of SSA 4/12/11.
All right, so that could be a bottle of water or maybe a weapon. Open weapon. I'll open that.
It is a rectangular. It is a rectangular.
Use it, bud. Use it.
It is a rectangular package of smaller individual packages.
Okay. Well, Rex is going to open that sucker up.
Okay. It has no hope against your powered armor as you grab the 2 tabs of plastic and peel it open. They're faded, but printed on it, it says Sunshine Trips 8 doses.
That's enough for me. I don't know about y'all.
No, I was going to say you need to save that for Preacher. He can really talk to the law then.
Expand your mind. Fully legal in 7 states.
I'm grabbing that and saying, "This
You're
is medical. When you need it, I will administer it."
Unconscious still. This
I'm
is
still unconscious.
well. This is while they're off exploring while you guys are unconscious. I asked. So, sorry about.
Well, Rex is for sure going to take that.
Yeah, let's split it up. What do you think? I mean, we got 3 of us, 2 apiece, and then we got a couple of left in reserve.
Definitely.
Okay.
While he's there,
I'm unconscious, so I don't know about any of this.
Are there those little holes in the wall, like where you have the conveyor belt run through to take your luggage?
Yeah, you see some things that look like that.
Okay, so Rex will just sort of take a peek through the hole and see if there's any luggage back there.
There's a vast, dark, confusing maze of machinery.
Fire in the hole!
He will turn on his exterior lights to take a quick peek.
You do not espy anything back there other than, again, just what appears to be acres of these pulleys and, well, no, this is the Gamma World retro future. So yeah, there's platforms, and you see tumbled down here and again piles of those containers for carrying people's clothes and whatnot. But no, you don't see pulleys and belts and whatnot.
Okay. Wait, so he does see baggage?
Yes.
You're out of luck. Oh, there's baggage. Nice score.
Numbers, did you want to head back there and grab a few bags? Let's see what these people were carrying.
Indeed. I got no problem with that.
Perhaps the ancients who were here were carrying one of those communication devices.
And now you're thinking, if the rest of them die, they die. You know what I mean?
Well, I should
want to
be able
hear
to see
what's
them.
in this baggage.
In other words, let's do this.
Okay, searching those. This is what you find of interest. You find a plastic box full of a white powder with blue specks in it that smells very faintly floral. You find a duralloy cylinder, 15 centimeters in diameter, a meter long, and a centimeter thick. You find what they look very similar to your snoopers that you have for searching around in the infrared, but they're simply dark lenses. When you put them on, it dims all the light, and it's dark back here already. Let's see, what else?
I'm thinking we have alternate clothes too.
There is what looks like a small dial-faced gadget of some kind on a very short belt that appears to be adjustable and flexible. And there's something that both of you recognize immediately. It is a magnetic compass in perfect condition inside a padded case. Otherwise, it is largely clothes and broken junk. Good night, RPG Grandma. Uncle Brat, thank you again for the super. Have a lovely evening.
Hey, sorry. What was between like the first and the third thing? What was between the laundry detergent and the snoopers?
You find just a long duralloy metal cylinder, hollow. About
Thank you.
A meter long.
Look at it. Look at it. Look through it.
Otherwise, there are no items of interest. And just to get the group back together before we end up with too far of a split party, you find nothing else of interest back there after thorough searching.
Rex will bring out a couple suitcases of what he thinks are nice clothes as he heads back to the unconscious teammates.
Okay.
I'll follow Rex.
Okay. You guys get back to your unconscious friends who are just regaining consciousness, and friends who are now regaining consciousness. There are your allies. They are laden down with some goods that they have acquired.
Cool.
Looks like you guys scored while we were out here. Thank you for taking me.
Anytime.
I do declare, is there anything y'all have found that could please remove this sledgehammer from my head?
Rex
Never.
will turn and look at numbers.
I ain't got nothing to help him.
I'll go over and try to help.
Sorry, preacher. We do have nice change of clothes for you if you like.
Yeah.
Although my medical's expertise to try to do that.
Give me a D20 roll there, 4077.
All right. That is a 12.
Yeah, if you can kind of figure out some sort of analgesic, you can probably help his headache. You seem to recall that there are certain kinds of tree bark that can be used to assist with alleviating pain, sort of a mild pain alleviation method.
The human camp where we picked up a couple of the things, the herbal remedies.
All right. Let's see. Yes, they just happen to have some herbal pain remedies that can take the edge off of that. And with one dose and about 15 or 20 minutes, Preacher is able to blink without it sounding like a steel door slamming shut.
I do thank you, kind lady. And you gentlemen said you found a possible suitable attire, since ruffians had obviously messed up my good coat.
Well, I have a few bags. You could take what you like.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we will put on our 80s music and have our best trying on clothes montage in the post-apocalypse. But you're able to go through. Clearly, there are some things that are, that were of all organic fibers that have just rotted as the past 2 centuries have gone on. But you're able to find there's enough varied bags that once you take away some of the, party dresses and tuxedos and whatnot, you've each got a couple of changes of clothes that can be made to fit.
Rocking the Miami Vice look. No, just kidding.
Hey, what you want to have found? There's enough luggage still scattered around here. You can probably find it.
Oh, we're doing it.
Here's a nice leisure suit for you that looks intact, Preacher.
Though it is true, I do enjoy my leisure time. I do not believe it is necessarily customary to always dress for it.
Roll a d6, please, Tonka.
This is where I die. Okay. I rolled a 2.
There is a seersucker suit that fits you like it was custom made for you.
The Lord has provided.
The Lord has.
Ooh, I want to go there.
All right, so you've got you've got a rather natty looking seersucker suit. Numbers, there's enough dungarees and black t-shirts in there to keep you in edgelord fashion forever. There is plenty of ladies attire that in the past couple of weeks the past week since you sprouted your wings 4077, you can modify something to suit you.
Completely and totally doing it.
That's fine. Now you still have your power, not your power. You still have body armor, of course. As shown in the official 4077 miniature. Which if you would like your own 4077 miniature, folks, just let me know. We offer those for the low price of $15 a piece. You can get your own Sapphire 4077 miniature to have at your game table. But anyway, yeah. Again, whatever clothing types, there's a nice snap brim leather fedora that you can have their numbers if you want it.
Oh, you want a style? Come on, Numbers. You know you want to. I mean, it just carries the whole attitude. Do it, bud. Do it.
No.
Well, now that you've fought off a couple of robots and have acquired a little bit of loot, I think we will go ahead and wrap for this evening because it sounds like Fort Doomsword's head is about to fall. So I want to thank our players. Yan Zhao, Rex Nashington, Tonka Doomsword as Numbers Rab, and especially for the lovely time we had talking about your alt game that you did for GaryCon and your GaryCon goings on this evening. Safi, thanks for jumping in. Thank you to everyone in our audience. Thank you, of course, for your participation. And folks, again, if you're just stopping by and you haven't already, click that like button, click that subscribe button, and leave us a comment below. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. We'll return on Monday. Now, tomorrow afternoon, rather, I will be here with Mrs. the Dungeon Delver for a full bore con wrap up. I'll share photos. We'll do the whole 9 yards with you guys, and that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be in the afternoon. But as for the show proper itself, we'll be back on Monday with some open talk. We might get into some deep dive kind of stuff. Tuesday, we'll be playing first edition AD&D. I really hope you're feeling a lot better than Doomsword. Wednesday, of course, Kyle will be here. We'll roll up a character for myself for his conflict game that he's going to be running on Wednesdays starting later in April. Thursday, we will be here. I'm not going to say if we're going to have a guest on Thursday. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. I want it to be a surprise. And then Friday, we're back to the ruins. We're back to the radioactive wastelands of Gamma World. So get yourself some rest this weekend, everyone. It's been a stone groove, of course. And as always, be good to each other. And I will see everyone again tomorrow. I love you all. Thank you all for being here tonight. And till next time, peace out.
Night, peeps.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.